Go.
Chicano.
Huzzah. Welcome everybody to the first annual awards show for Expo Dump. I think this is going to be a rather a good look at the movies we've seen already.
And have a chance to spit more bile at the ones we didn't like.
Alright. Do we want to start with like the best actors and actresses and shit like that, or do we want to go? Do we want to do like best CGI animated movie?
Yeah, save the big
like
three for last. We'll do it the Oscar way.
All right, let's actually start off with first. Let's start off with best score.
All
We're
right.
going for the music.
Right off the fucking bat.
Yep.
Our nominees for best score. This is one I actually posted on Twitter yesterday because I wanted to get some opinions on it. I had some interesting answers. But for best score, our nominees are Kick-Ass 2, done by Henry Jackman and Matthew Margeson. Man of Steel by Hans Zimmer. Pacific Rim by, excuse me if I fuck this up, but Raymond Djawadi. Rush by Hans Zimmer. And Out of the Furnace by Dickon Hitchcliffe and Effie Vedder.
Yep. And our winner is
That's
Kick-Ass
because
2.
Yay! Kick-Ass 2 wins an award!
Never thought we'd say that at the start of the year.
Yeah. Honestly, Chris won me over with this one. I completely forgot about the Kick-Ass 2 the scores from it. Yeah. And once Chris, linked me the music from it, it immediately hit me, and I knew each score and what part of the movie it came from. Like I didn't like that movie, but it instantly reminded me of the good scenes in the movie.
Even to the point where we played one of them and it instantly changed your choices for a couple of the other awards later on.
Yeah, it actually brought because honestly, Kick-Ass 2 was low on my awards thing, but it reminded me of a scene from that movie that a score was attached to. That opened my eyes for that hey, this could be this is possible for other awards then.
Yes,
because I love that scene.
You might notice that a lot of our scores are the big orchestral, the big hero sort of theme, sort of choices. But Kick-Ass, amongst them, the films aren't great, but the scores in both films are excellent.
I liked both Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass.
Even the main theme that we picked out, which was spoilers, Nick called "Hit Girls Goodbye."
Nick Hit Girls Farewell.
He goes farewell. Sorry, yeah. It's got it's got the quiet emotional bits at the start, and then just builds and builds and builds until at the end you can't help but be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, and it comes in. If you've seen the scene in the movie, it hits such a right point when it gets all big and heroic like that. It's a great piece. It uses the jetpack. I think "Flying Home" is the title from the first Kick-Ass.
Yeah, Marius Vries originally wrote that, and they've readapted it for the second.
Mm-hmm. And it gets kind of re-implemented in a couple pieces. We also took a look at the Real Evil song.
That's the one that did it for me.
Yeah, and Justice Forever, which is another great piece from when the movie's kind of hitting its high point. It's a really good score. It's the one category I had a lot of trouble kind of picking through. I really liked Pacific Rim. I really loved What Are You Gonna Do When You're Not Saving the World from Man of Steel. I think all of these are really good scores.
Mm-hmm. The thing is,
Kick-Ass too.
For me, Man of Steel and Pacific Rim were they were good songs, but they were very generic
to me. Yeah.
They didn't feel like you could have switched those two around and you wouldn't have known the difference.
Oh no, I definitely think Pacific Rim's track just works for that. It's kind of got that big kind of industrial feel, like with the big heavy rock solo or guitar riffs in there. That theme. To me, is never going to be indistinguishable from Pacific Rim. I can't hear that and not be like, oh, fucking yeah, giant robots beating up fucking monsters.
There's no giant robots beating up monsters in that movie. It's just talking.
Yes,
There's a lot of talking.
Fair enough.
So let's, individual picks. My individual pick's going to have to go to Kick-Ass 2 also. Just, Chris completely won me over with that in that category.
Yeah, I mean, same for me. Basically, the way we did it is a 2 out of 3 vote. So a lot of us individual picks are basically going to be the winners, and one person might have an alternate idea. But Kick-Ass for me was the winner.
Yeah, Kick-Ass 2 is the one I eventually ended up with too, just because I think it's one of the few things that's actually made it onto my iPod.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That
if I had an iPod, it'd be on there too.
That soundtrack and at least 3 or 4 songs from that soundtrack you can just listen to them at any time you like.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah.
tunes.
Great tone setting music.
All right, let's make it our way over to let's do cinematography. Cinematography we also grouped in with best
Physical
effects, practical and physical effects. So
Yes. Basically, using the world around you as it is.
yeah, Chris, and our nominations are.
For best cinematography, we have The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, World's End, Rush, World War Z, and The Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug.
Yes.
Now remember, this cinematography, this is not CGI, so we're only counting practical effects when referring to this. So
Yeah.
The Hobbit, we'd be considering, the makeup jobs or the costuming, and not Smaug.
All the scenery,
the
helicopter shots of New Zealand.
Yeah.
So for this category, we're giving it to Walter Mitty.
Ta-da! Walter Mitty wins an award. Actually, I think.
I basically voted on this one just because of the trailer. I've yet to see this movie, but I trust Chris's judgment of it, so I'm full for it. I know not Harry Potter.
Fucking Harry Potter is a great movie.
What's that? The Hobbit 2. I know that has some. I've seen it. I know it has great shots of it, but it's just great shots. It's just a helicopter flying in New Zealand.
Admittedly, some people might say the same with Walter Mitty with Greenland and Iceland, but it's little tricks that they do and add little things. There's the scene of the skateboarding down the road in Iceland, where that's shot in such a way you can believe that is actually Ben Stiller doing it, and it does its best not to just focus on him. It shows the world around him as he's moving through it. It's a fantastic shot.
Yeah, very visually stunning of a film. A lot of great effects with the camera to kind of create this big kind of scope to the world and this really empowering feeling as you go through it. A lot of good action with the way they roll the camera and cross these shots. So it really is.
This is when we find out that the entire scene in the Himalayas and all this was just CGI, and it was.
They weren't in the Himalayas. That was in Detroit.
But the stuff in Iceland.
They were in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as individual picks, I really didn't have a best cinematography pick because
we included The Hobbit because it's The Hobbit. That's generally what the Lord of the Rings films all do. Mm-hmm. Rush got in there because just of how intricate and how clever the put together of the race scenes was, and I personally pushed for World's End because of how good the physical effects in there were, even just for some of the fight scenes. Mm-hmm. Although it's not exactly a cinematography.
Yeah,
it's not for the cinema. It's for the practical effects, the makeup, the androids and all that sort of stuff. But yeah,
Chris.
I gave it to Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I really thought it was a visually great movie. This is Ben Stiller's first time as director, and I think he did a great job on that.
Yeah.
So let's bump into actually best CGI.
CGI.
Our nominations for best CGI were Pacific Rim, Man of Steel, Elysium, Thor: The Dark World, and World War Z.
And our winner was World War Z.
Yeah.
I'm giving this one to World War Z. I know Pacific Rim is a very CGI heavy film, but for me, as far as what worked better for me, was World War Z CGI.
Yeah, it's like I brought this up when we were discussing the picks. Pacific Rim is filled with CGI, but it's very much humans in one scene, CGI in another scene. There's very little CGI around the humans. It's basically like, here's a normal movie, and now we're doing the monster bits. Here's an animated movie. Mm-hmm. It's two very separate things, and there's not much integration. Now, I haven't seen World War Z, but I'm told that they do that really well by these two guys. So yeah. I'm letting them go with that. Obviously, they outvoted me 2-1 anyway. But Man of Steel and Thor.
Man of Steel had a lot of what we like to coin rubber moments.
Yes.
Where somebody just looks like when the big fight scenes happen.
Yeah.
And you see Superman go flopping around the ground. He just looks like a toy, like a rubber floppy toy.
There's scenes where the intricate stuff where he's using his the eye lasers. The effects for that look awesome.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
but it's let down by the, like say, the Rubberman banding and a few other little bits and bobs that just don't look right.
The hardest thing for CGI is faces, and they failed at that in Superman for me.
Yeah.
I still like it just for the ending of the all the buildings getting destroyed. It's probably the only highlight of film, despite the fact it's not a very Superman scene.
Yeah.
And it's still a pretty cool moment visually of just these buildings getting fucking pummeled and shit.
And again, Elysium I haven't seen, and Thor, it was good, but it was very generic sort of CGI. There wasn't anything that really stood out.
Thor won CGI. It would win in CGI if it was just Asgard.
Yes, Asgard stood out. What I didn't like was what was it called now? I can't remember the name of the ether.
The ether was the only thing that was just
it
was very evident. You're just like, this is a big computer generated effect. I've this. Elysium, by the way, is I think the only positive award it's nominated for, and that's because the one good thing I can say about the movie is that the robots were really well animated in it.
Yeah,
but my vote
director
went
of
to
District 9.
Yeah, my vote went to Pacific Rim. But I agreed that World War Z had amazing effects as well. I just really like Pacific Rim for certain fight scenes.
I liked Pacific Rim, but as I say, I wasn't as impressed with the special effects just because it wasn't really special effects. It was an animated movie.
Yeah.
Who was your vote, Gav?
Well, as I say, because I hadn't seen World War Z, I was leaning towards Pacific Rim, but I didn't really want to give it to Pacific Rim because of that reason that I mentioned.
Mm-hmm. I gave mine to World War Z also.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Best Animated Movie. Chris, our nominees are
Freebirds.
And our winner is Freebirds.
Yes, we didn't go see Frozen or anything else.
Congratulations, Freebirds.
Yes.
Good on ya.
I mean, we probably could have put Pacific Rim for Best Animated Movie too.
Well, kinda, yeah, but they had too many humans in it, just.
Yeah. It had one too many humans in it for it to categorize as Best Animated Movie. All right, let's get through supporting actors and actors. Best supporting actor. Chris, who do we got?
Best supporting actor, our nominees were Jared Leto from Dallas Buyers Club, Casey Affleck from Out of the Furnace, Tom Hiddleston from Thor: The Dark World, Daniel Bruhl from Rush, and Jim Carrey from Kick-Ass 2.
And our winner was... hold on, I just lost my track. Daniel Bruhl.
Yes.
From Rush! Woo! Daniel Bruhl! Niki Lauda! Woo!
Not Tom Hiddleston, as everyone is expected to go to by default.
This is not a show run by fangirls, so Tom Hiddleston is not going to win every single award.
I would have voted for Tom Hiddleston. He's so dreamy.
I'll admit, look, I like Hiddleston. I like what he does. And Loki is a fantastic character.
Oh yeah, he is.
It's just that in this situation, in this instance, Daniel Bruhl is not bringing his own spin to a character. He's playing a real person, and he captures him perfectly.
It's just absolutely phenomenal. It is incredible the way he just captures that entire kind of caricature of Niki Lauda and just plays it to absolute perfection, just hitting every single one of his personality quirks so well.
It's the peak of arrogance. You want to hate the guy because he's such a cocky little shit, but the problem is everything he's saying is right.
Keeps fucking succeeding. He can back up all of his goddamn boasts, and he sells it all like. He's not so smarmy you completely despise him. You could still respect him, but you're still just like, God, I want somebody to beat you. I want somebody to fucking punch you in the nose and stuff you in a locker or something. He is incredible in the movie. Yeah, Jim Carrey we have on there, though, because that is a guy who, if you did not tell me he was in Kick-Ass 2, I would never have known it was him. Yeah. He is completely lost in that character. Is a really great.
It's a shame he had the reaction he did to the film because it's a fantastic character.
Yeah, it is a shame, but
yeah, I tend to agree with everybody on Daniel Bruhl.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one scene in the film. It's like, what is it when he's talking to his race mate, and his race mate's like, "Why are you going to be such an asshole? Why am I the asshole? Everything I'm saying is correct. I'm better than you. If you can't accept that, you're the asshole."
There's so many great moments from him in that film. There's so many. Just like, I feel the car with my ass. God gifted me with a very good ass. I can tell how the car is. Just
enough, Niki Lauda is more quotable than Anchorman 2.
Yeah. He's great. So yeah, I think all of us. Or I think no, you might pick someone else.
Who?
Randy. Did you pick someone else?
I don't remember. My list does not have it on there.
Okay. Well,
So I guess I just defaulted and agreed with you guys.
I'm gonna assume that we all said Brule.
Yeah.
So good job, Daniel Brule. Woo!
And now we have Best Supporting Actress. Chris,
Our nominees
nominations.
for Best Supporting Actress was Amy Adams for Man of Steel, Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle, Julianne Moore from Don John, Jamie Alexander from Thor: The Dark World, and Kristen Wiig from The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
And our winner was Christian Wiig.
Woo!
From
Walter Mitty wins another award. It's starting to sweep.
Quick, somebody mentioned Ben Stiller telling me he's won 2 awards.
He's like, what did I win? A podcast? What the fuck's a podcast?
And why the fuck is it a bowling trophy?
That's all we can afford. Kristen Wiig got it for me because she plays a character who I felt was so tied to that. Like, if it had been anyone else but her, I don't think the character would have worked as well as it does. She's so excellent in the film for the role she's put into, and it's entirely because of her ability to carry those lines with that same kind of like funny, charming attitude that makes her so approachable and welcoming, but doesn't hit cheesy, doesn't hit forced, doesn't hit anything that just takes you out of it and makes you feel like you're hearing a script.
These two fuckers overrode me on my pick.
This is one thing that Kristen Wiig did well. This film did well. It understated its characters perfectly. Where, look, she's not the hottest girl in the world, but she is who Walter's fixated on. You know, she's not the office stunner like a lot of cliched movies would go for. She's not the one that everyone in the office wants. She does have a life. She's a normal person. She's like I say, she's got that quiet charm. She's a mom. Yeah, she's all this sort of stuff. And like Chris says, anyone else in that role, your typical Hollywood starlet, would probably have killed that performance.
It probably, I mean, the script isn't lending itself to make her this, memorable character. She has kind of a lot of lines. You just, in a lesser actress, would have just felt like, yeah, she's just the female character in this movie. But because of Kristen Wiig's performance, it elevates it to a point. You're just like, that was one of the most notable things about it. Is she's so excellent in this. It's astonishing. She really elevates that character.
Yeah, because. Sorry, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I was just going to say, our other kind of big contender for this would have been Jennifer Lawrence in American Hustle.
Yep, that was my pick. Emma was Jennifer Lawrence. I almost said Emma Watson, but she wasn't in any good movies this year.
Yeah,
so
I think the only thing she was
for anything.
was fucking This Is the End. I don't know if any of us saw that.
No.
Even that, she's a cameo. But Jennifer Lawrence this year, absolutely phenomenal actress. Absolutely phenomenal. She's really shown that she has a fantastic range to her between the two big roles she was in this year with Hunger Games and now here in American Hustle. She's gone from this powerful, heroic heroine, who's just inspiring and fighting a rebellion, to this character in American Hustle who's like this, disgusting, trashy Jersey woman who, is charismatic and likes to, kind of play with people and always be right with what she says.
Manipulator.
She goes from two completely different roles and plays them both so excellently. So I definitely think she's worthy of it. We went with Kristen Wiig, but both of them I think were worthy.
Yeah,
I was picking my battles for this one. I allowed this one to slide. I would have fought for this one, but there were other ones I'd rather fight for.
Other notables obviously was Jamie Alexander in Thor, who on the back of that performance should quite easily have got the Wonder Woman gig, but we know how movies are.
There was someone from Fast and Furious who apparently was better. Some bikini.
But we're not getting at that because that would just make me angry.
Honestly, I think more than likely it was probably a case of she's already signed with Marvel, and Wonder Woman's a DC character, so there might be something in there.
Headed up Ryan Reynolds.
There's a reason that they're thinking about making Jon Stewart the next Green Lantern in the new movie, because Ryan Reynolds wants to do Deadpool.
Yeah,
I mean, even then,
but then
something. They also kind of fucked John Ryan on Grey Guard or whatever Green Lantern he was.
Hal Jordan.
Hal Jordan. I was like every other fucking Green Lantern but the one he was.
They didn't fuck up Hal Jordan that much. I mean, he was that cocky.
No, I don't mean he fucked up Hal Jordan. I mean the movie.
Yeah,
yes.
Fucked up Green Lantern.
From what I've heard, they are squeezing Green Lantern into the Batman Superman movie, and is it Denzel's going to be playing him? Jon Stewart.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
But No, there's another chick that can play. If you ever seen the movie Haywire, there's the chick that plays in Haywire should also try to be Wonder Woman. She's really bad acting, but I think that she can work on that. But she looks the part.
Really great people.
She's average acting. But all right, let's get off of this shit. Okay, let's actually go into director and actresses and best film for the positive side. Well, actually, we're saving best film for the very end with worst film. So let's actually start off with best director.
All right, our nominees for best director was Ron Howard for Rush, Ben Stiller for The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, David O. Russell for American Hustle, Scott Cooper for Out of the Furnace, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt in his directorial debut in Don John.
And our winner was Ron Howard with Rush.
Yes.
This is another tough one. This is another one we were kind of debating between a few. Ron Howard and David O. Russell, I think, were the two big contenders because both of them shot just absolutely incredible movies. Both of them, they got so much out of their cast. Such strong, memorable films that you're going to be able to just watch again and again and just enjoy the performances. Everything in it's just so flawlessly executed. Scott Cooper, I gave kind of a nod to. I really enjoyed Out of the Furnace. Thought he got a lot. He got an amazing performance out of Casey Affleck. And then for Ben Stiller and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, those movies were both their directorial debuts, and both of them were just excellent in that regard.
Yeah.
I mean, Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Admittedly, we gave when we got to the cinematography part of this, it was basically Ben Stiller and Ron Howard were literally knocking 10 bells out of each other, and we had to go one way with one and one way with the other just because it was the only fair way to do it. Ben Stiller for his directorial debut, I don't know if he's helped on previous films, phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Considering the movies that he normally makes. The fact that his own character is so understated, as Chris has mentioned a few times, the cinematography and the way that film's shot and the pacing and everything else, phenomenal film.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt, to me right now, is one of the best things in Hollywood. The dude can fucking act, and obviously from Don John, he's shown that he can write and direct too. He's phenomenal.
Yeah. Plus, he's got the brains to, when he writes and directs his own movie, he sets Scarlett Johansson as his love interest, so he's got a brain too.
He's smart, yeah. But he did cast her as an asshole.
Yeah. But he casts her in enough scenes where he gets to stare at her ass, so.
Yeah. I can't wait for Avengers 2.
We'll just wait for American Winter Soldier. She's going to be all over that in her fucking skin-tight shit still.
Woo!
They're trying to play up this Captain
I hope
America.
she's in Godzilla too.
I don't think so.
But yeah, Ron Howard basically tipped this because of just how so well put together Rush was. You've got this great character story going on in the world of F1, but at the same time, the races are included. They mean something. The way that the real life races and the new footage is spliced together is fantastic. You've got two fantastic performances out of the two leads. There's not a bad performance in the film. It's just so well put together. It's like I say, it's one of my films of the year by far.
I believe I got edged out for this one because I was going for David O. Russell for American
Well, of course
Hustle.
you were, because anything to do with American Hustle gets your vote automatically.
No, not really. I mean,
Yes.
I voted against American Hustle on a couple of things. I went for Freebirds and Best of Animated Movies.
Yeah.
So.
I know, and that was a tough one. We argued a lot over whether American Hustle was best animated over Freebirds.
Actually, no. I went again. I agreed that I agreed for Christian Wiig, and
No, you wanted.
You just said
yeah,
you
I
wanted
did.
Lawrence.
But then again, I understood that that Christian Wiig was a better choice. Plus, I would really just be really just been voting for Jennifer Lawrence's cleavage in American Hustle for Best Supporting Actress. But
Should we do that sometime next year?
Best supported actress.
I think next year we will have, because we don't have any like really dumb categories, but I think next year we're just gonna flood it with some dumb categories.
Dumb/sexy.
Because we didn't see a lot of movies this year.
Song.
I mean, we did see a fuck ton of movies, but we didn't see, as far as the whole year goes, we didn't see a lot.
Yeah, take into account all these awards are based on what we've seen. So
Yeah.
we will be missing a few films out of this.
Yeah. You're not going to see any nominations for 12 Years a Slave or
Iron Man 3.
The Butler.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of movies, guys, that we just haven't seen. Either they didn't play near us, or we
Oh, it
just
was
didn't
before we
catch them.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something we just didn't get around to seeing it. So, I mean, there's going to be things like that. But, hopefully next year we'll be able to see even more, and we'll have more to talk on.
All right, so let's go into Best Actor.
All right, our best lead actor, our nominees were Hugh Jackman for Prisoners, Christian Bale for American Hustle and Out of the Furnace, Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club, Chris Hemsworth for Rush, and Martin Short for The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
The winner was Christian Bale for American Hustle and Furnace. I pushed for that.
Admittedly, I didn't see either of these films, so I didn't really have any room to speak on this one. But these guys assured me. I trust them.
What he did was amazing in that movie.
He's great.
In both movies.
Yeah. I mean, Out of the Furnace, he's this quiet, understated guy. He's the level-headed man in this, kind of chaotic world. He's got such a quiet kind of demeanor to him. And, as he's hunting down and, getting revenge for his brother, he just has that sort of like, just this quiet kind of seething anger that's just so great. And then you transfer that then into him in American Hustle, where he's kind of playing this big, charismatic con man who's, going around. He hits these, just soul-crushing lows where he's just desperate for some kind of connection that he can get from his love interest. He's so phenomenal in these movies. It makes me, like, I look back and I'm like, how do I not remember this dude at all in the Batman movies? But almost everything I've seen him outside of that, he's just phenomenal in. He's incredible in these movies. This has been a great year for Christian Bale for me. And honestly, probably not so much for his stock, because I think American Hustle did fine, but I don't think Out of the Furnace made a whole lot of money. But I'm hoping a lot of people realize this guy is a great talent. They keep casting him and stuff.
Let me check. Into the Furnace.
Out of the Furnace.
Out of the Furnace. Into the Out of Furnace.
Out of the Furnace and into the fire, as they say.
I don't see it in the top 20.
Well, I mean, it came out a while ago. I think it came out at the end of November, start of December.
Well, this is year all time, so I don't see it.
Yeah, I know it wouldn't have made the top 20.
Oh, no.
I think there were almost like 20 superhero movies that came out this year.
All right, let's
By the way, the one person I did want to nominate, though, was Matthew McConaughey in Dallas Buyers Club. I really think he was unbelievable in that film.
We all had I mean, it's like when we've nominated Chris Hemsworth not for Thor but for Rush, because we knew what he could do with Thor, but we did not realise he had such charisma and acting ability that he'd put on show on Rush.
Yeah,
that's the same thing. Matthew McConaughey, I was so low on, but he acts his fucking ass off in Dallas Buyers Club.
Best Actress?
Best Actress. We don't have a ton of leads for this, but our best lead actress, we have Jennifer Lawrence in Hunger Games Catching Fire, Amy Adams in American Hustle, and Scarlett Johansson in Don John.
And our winner is Amy Adams' Cleavage in American Hustle.
Yay! Woo!
Because she does a fantastic job in that movie. It's just fucking fantastic.
Amy Adams has become basically my favorite actress right now. I mean, I loved her, and she was my favorite part of Man of Steel, I thought. In terms of
she's the only good character in Man of Steel.
Yeah, I mean, she plays a great Lois Lane. She was smart. She was,
except when they shoehorn her in a couple of scenes.
Yeah, I mean, there's shit the script kind of forced her to make her dislikable, but she herself is great.
Yeah,
she's incredible in American Hustle. Absolutely incredible, and it just hitting these amazing highs. She has that British accent she puts on. You might hear it in the trailer. And it's weird because the accent is forced, and it kind of hits that perfect part where you're like, I can tell it's forced, but it's kind of just enough that I could kind of buy someone thinking it was real. Mm-hmm. Like it hits that perfect kind of fakeness to it. And then I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've been seeing the trailers for her that's coming out. I'm going to be seeing that next week. And she's in that as well. And it looks like she's playing a completely different character in that as well. So, in the span of, just a couple months, she's just all over the place of what she's doing.
From what I can tell, there's about pretty much everyone who's hot in Hollywood right now is in that film.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix, really. I mean,
girls, at least. Girls.
Yeah. It's Rooney Mara, Scarlett Johansson, Olivia Wilde, and Amy Adams. I mean,
Olivia
if they could
Wilde.
find a way to shove Jennifer Lawrence in there somewhere, it'd basically have everybody.
And Emma Stone.
Yeah, Emma Stone, throw her in there.
So many hot actresses.
Yeah,
I mean,
talented
talented
one
actresses.
of them's a computer, so
Yeah, and it's Scarlett Johansson, right?
yeah, that's Scarlett Johansson.
Can I look at
still-
her digital butt?
You know what? Maybe that's a scene in the movie where Joaquin Phoenix creates a digital butt for him to spank and play with.
Yes.
Only you would be so excited at that. You're like, yeah, I can't wait for that.
So I'm guessing the audience at this point are getting a good idea of how we work these out. Basically, me and Chris look at these movies in full, and Randy is the tits and ass.
No. Hey, why am I the only tits and ass guy? I'm the married one.
I'm hoping so much if they do have that digital ass in that they also reuse it when they do Transcendence later this year, so we get a digital Johnny Depp ass that they spank and play with
Well,
as well.
you're gonna have fun watching that because I will not be here for that
See,
one.
I don't care. I'm finding a way. I don't care if I have to fucking like break into your house and replace the audio of the movie with whatever fucking audiobook you were gonna play, and then break your radio so you can't turn it off. I'll fucking sabotage a lot of shit to make you see this movie.
Chris, unless you're somehow going to put a TV in my truck that I'm because that's where we're moving to Arizona.
Just your radio.
Huh?
Just your radio. I'm just gonna put the audio in the movie. I don't want to distract your eyes from the road.
Yeah,
So
you just get to listen to Johnny Depp.
yeah. Just get to hear it.
That's gonna give me a road rage beyond belief of anything.
Well, just gonna have to put up with it.
I mean, people might get hurt, Chris.
I am perfectly fine with those consequences. I have accepted them.
All right, guys, let's move on to the worst
The worst
side of things.
Hold on, we have one last favorite one. Do we want to do the favorite?
Do something at the end. I think that's a good cap.
Yeah, best film we're leaving for the end with worst
Yeah.
film.
Okay.
Unless I'm missing one completely out of there.
Then it's
Yeah.
favorite movie moment.
There's what the fuck moment, and best moment. I'd do those just before the end. Do those together.
Yeah, I'll do those at the end also. Yeah, I agree. Let's start off with worst animated movie. Our nominations are,
Freebird.
and our winner is Freebirds.
Yay! 2 awards.
Freebird just has both of those on the fucking DVD box. Best animated movie Exposition Dump, and in smaller text beneath it, worst animated.
Well, it'll be two Expedition bowling trophies.
Yeah.
Winner of 2. Oh, God. We need to make sure we're looking at some more animated films next year.
There's a
Well,
good
apparently
chance-
Chris was fighting with somebody about seeing more animated movies, and he's like, I don't want to see them, and blah, 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 blah. And see, our chat room wants to see us do more animated movies, Chris.
Yeah.
I've heard one person say it.
Chat room, do you guys want to see us do more animated movies?
Okay, no, hold on. That's
Shut
not
up.
correct. Do you guys want to see us see more animated movies in favor of not seeing other like action kind of movies? Like, if you had a choice, would you rather us see Nut Job or Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit?
Yeah. See, this will only affect whether we do an animated award. That's it.
Yeah, it's not a matter of like, oh, I just don't want to see him. It's a matter of
Yes. One
I
no.
think-
Yes.
all those fucking came in before I got to explain my half of the goddamn point.
20-second delay. See, Nut Job. We got. Okay, I'm pushing for more animated movies because I want Chris. Chris, shut up! I can see your tag next to your thing. That's,
I do wish like we'd have gone and included Frozen on the list, but because I've heard good things about that. But we'll squeeze a few things in.
All right, well, you know, it's money I'm spending on a movie that I have to go see alone. All right, I feel like I need something else to go with this.
well, Chris, here's the thing. We've been seeing double features lately. What's going to stop us from going, okay, we're going to see this week Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit and The Nut Job.
Fucking bitch! This week I'm seeing Lone Survivor, her, and fucking Hercules. All right.
You don't have to see fucking Hercules. Nobody's going to see
know.
Hercules.
Okay, look. There's gonna like Grey Bob's just said in the chat that there's gonna be a Disney film, a Pixar film, and a DreamWorks film at some point. We'll just include those. Okay.
Nut Job.
He has to fucking see these movies. I swear to God. I'm telling him now. I am not seeing Nutjob until he comes back and tells me about the movie. And then I'll go see it. Because I am not going to be the fucker who gets caught, goes sees this movie, come back. I'm like, God, did you guys see Nutjob? You're like, no, it snowed again outside. I couldn't make it.
I moved again.
I got married again.
No. I'm planning my honeymoon around Nutjob, so I don't think I'll see it.
I'm telling you, I told you, I'll find some random girl and propose to her if I have to get out.
Okay, no. So, worst.
Let's start off with worst CGI.
All right, our choices for worst special effects in a movie. I think this one is a combined practical or CGI. If something was just god awful, we put it in there.
Yeah, this is
our
worst
choices
everything.
were Wolverine, R.I.P.D., and the Moral Instrument City of Bones.
And our winner is R.I.P.D.
Or R.I.P.D.
For two scenes come to mind for this movie, and I think Gav can completely agree with me. Number one, the fat guy running through town at the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Looks just terrible. Second scene, where all the portals open up in the city and they're driving through the parking lot and the cars are falling down in front of it. Looks fucking terrible.
Yeah.
This movie killed CGI.
Unlike Randy, I actually can tolerate this film. I actually kind of like it. Just for its fucking ridiculousness. There were two scenes in there that the effects of the monsters and the defying gravity bit and all that sort of stuff. There was a lot of rubber manning in that. A lot of gravity effects that didn't quite look right, if you know what I mean. Everything bounced around like toys. Nothing felt solid. It was just
I can't.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to do the integration. I mentioned with the Pacific Rim, it was people with effects around them, but it just failed. And half the time, you could tell when the people became the effects.
My choice for this was the Wolverine, solely just because of that fucking ending with the Silver Samurai. It's just so bad. It is so bad.
Yeah, and I was actually watching. I bought a movie last night called. If you guys remember Paranoia, that I was pushing to watch early in the year. You weren't a part of for that one, but I watched that movie, and in the trailer for that, in the when you set up a DVD, you always get trailers from that movies that year.
Yep.
And there was one for the Wolverine, and it got to they showed the train scene again. I was like, oh yeah.
How was Paranoia, by the way?
Poop.
Oh.
I pushed so hard for it because I thought it would look interesting, and then I finally watched it. Yeah, I actually watched it this morning, and I watched it again this morning just to be sure, and it's poop.
We also included City of Bones in this because they did the trick of we're going to have not great there was some really nice set pieces effects wise.
I actually liked the dog thing the very beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
because that thing looked creepy as fuck. That's nightmare fuel for kids.
Yeah, that was cool, but later on in the film they do the whole mass attack, and they basically blind you to bad effects by using lots of effects.
Yeah.
There's bits with the werewolves that just look weird. It wasn't bad enough to lose to win the worst effects award, but it still wasn't great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Chris, you said yours was Wolverine. What was your personal pick, Gab, for worst CGI?
Personal pick, to be honest, I wasn't really sure. I let you guys riff on these movies for a little bit last night, and then basically made my decision based on that. I didn't really have any sort of worst. I thought Wolverine wasn't actually that bad, but then I was comparing it to Origins, and Origins just looked unfinished.
Yeah,
Origins was terrible.
There's a few scenes in Origins where Wolverine puts his claws through a door, and it just looks like an unfinished effect.
Well, the part where he breaks where he's in the old lady's house, the old couple's house, and he his claws come out for the first time, and he breaks all the equipment. That looks fucking terrible. Yeah. But if this movie, or if we did this back then and that movie came out, that would be worse
Wolverine.
CGI.
Yeah, would have won it hands
Origins
down.
would have won that.
Admittedly, look, there wasn't that many really bad CGI movies this year, but R.I.P.D. just because of those, they looked unbelievable. You could tell they weren't. Despite the scenarios that were going on in them, you could tell they weren't real.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into worst trailer.
All right. Now our criteria for this was if the trailer was very misleading for what the actual movie was, or the trailer told you the entire fucking story.
Yeah, either told you the entire film or put you off seeing a film that you really should go see.
Yep.
Yeah. Or in the case of one, is just really, really bad.
Yeah.
Our choices for this were Rush, American Hustle, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and The Wolf of Wall Street.
I want to make a little side note for not Secret Life of Walter Mitty, but the
American Hustle.
American Hustle one. That's not the actual movie trailer. It's the after the movie has come out trailer. It's the fourth trailer that misleads you into thinking it's a very heavy comedy movie when it's actually a full drama.
Yeah.
Because I think if most people watch the trailers, they'll see the other trailer, not the one we're actually talking about. But and our winner was for this one, oddly enough, was Walter Mitty.
Yes.
Yeah, this is a trailer that has turned a lot of people off seeing the movie. Randy didn't really want to see it.
I still don't want to see it because of the trailer, because it looks like a pretentious pile of shit.
You could go back 2 or 3 weeks, or even months, when this trailer first started showing up, and we started. There was a week, basically, about 2 months ago, where there was nothing out, and we did a review of upcoming trailers. None of us wanted to come see this movie.
Chris,
we all thought it's another fucking Ben Stiller movie. Pretentious.
You despise the fuck out of this.
I wanted to see it, but that's only because I had seen this trailer has been out since I think when we started doing Exposition Dump.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw it, I was right with you guys where I was like, this looks like a fucking pretentious pile of shit. After seeing it so many times, I started to open my mind up a little bit more to it, to the point I got comfortable. But I completely agree. The trailer really just shows only the parts of the movie where he's actually going out and doing these things, and just makes it feel incredibly pretentious. It still looks visually great, but it definitely sets an idea that this is going to be a movie that's going to talk down to you.
It focuses on his daydreams in the trailer, so you see like 3, but I think there's only like 5 or 6 daydreams in the entire film, and it shows you 5 of them in the trailer.
Yeah.
And it makes you think that this is basically going to be a Ben Stiller comedy where he's going through life and imagining what could be. You know, all these little, like an episode of Family Guy, basically.
Yeah.
You know, and it's going to be a typical Ben Stiller grinning like an idiot sort of film. But the film itself is so much better than that. It's nothing like that. It's so worth watching. I dare say that trailer's cost this film money because of that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely it has.
Yeah.
It's cost money for me. I haven't watched it. Yep. I'm going to, just for the sheer fact of, I trust Chris. And if he says if it's something good, well, Chris, you said about that movie that if you've experienced a lot in life, you're not going to take much from this movie. If you haven't, you might. It
comes down to like how you generally approach hearing that theme of if you want to live your life, you have to go out and live it. If it's something that you're like, that's something I need to hear, or I want to kind of see that in action, you're definitely going to enjoy it. But if you're like, I've heard this 1,000 times, I've already done what I want to, it may not have much of an effect on you.
Yeah. I think I'm going to fall into that category.
I think you'll still be able to enjoy it though, because I think you're going to be able to pick up on the fact that it's not a movie that talks down to you, and I think you'll enjoy that
at all.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll try and see if I can shovel the truck out and go see.
Yeah. In regards to the other nominations, we've already explained American Hustle. What was the problem we had with Rush? I can't remember now.
Rush is that the trailer tells you the entire movie.
Yes.
Do not see the trailer for Rush if you have not seen Rush. It tells you everything up until the final moments of the movie. Basically. Apart
from the actual who wins the world championship, which honestly, in the distance of it all, doesn't even really matter.
Mm-hmm. But
that's the only thing it doesn't tell you.
It's a timeline of the movie compiled into about 2 minutes, and you're just like, are you fucking kidding me? This is everything. I remember seeing it. I was like, this trailer has told me the entire movie. It's kind of what Lone Survivor has based off of the fucking name of the movie. I'm like, you've already told me what happens. I know what happens now. So
I'm gonna be hypercritical of that movie when it comes out.
Yeah, that's next week.
Yep.
That's next week. And Wolf of Wall Street is just that is a trailer. I mean, it's
agonizing to watch.
It's accurate for how the movie is. I've come to find out.
I will say, from what you said earlier, though, it does make it seem like this is a constant all the way through the film battle of him basically avoiding the feds and all the rest of it. But from what you've said, it's like literally a footnote.
That's the end of the movie is when that happens.
That trailer feels as long as that movie is going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that.
Especially that ending. You know where they at the ending of the trailer where they're humming and with.
I didn't even tell you that happens twice in the movie. It comes back after that scene at another point.
That part just drags on in the trailer, and I'm like, so that's gonna be the movie. It's just gonna drag on.
The first time they do it, that scene is even longer than what's in the trailer.
Oh God!
Christ.
And then they do it again.
Fuck that movie. All right. Let's go on to. Let's see. All we have left before we get into the worst movies and what the fuck moments and best moments. We have worst performance.
Yes.
Worst performance of the year. A very distinguished title to be given.
Only the worst of the worst get this title.
Our nominees this year: Johnny Depp for The Lone Ranger, Matt Damon for Elysium, Arnold Schwarzenegger for Escape Plan, and Rinku Kukichi for Pacific Rim and 47 Ronin.
Yes.
And our winner is Johnny Depp.
I don't think
honorable mention: the majority of the cast of City of Bones.
Yeah.
Oh man, this was.
Congratulations, Johnny Depp. You pile of shit. I fucking hate you.
Johnny Depp is just he hits that character and it's so obnoxious. It's so evident. It's just him, basically in
with an
the
accent.
Same role he's done 90% of his career. It's so painful.
See,
everyone else in here is just bad, but he is just
abysmal.
It's just you hit it.
See, the odd thing though is I do like Johnny Depp, the character. The problem is I'm getting tired and sick of seeing him in every goddamn film. Tonto and Jack Sparrow and all these other characters are interchangeable. Yeah. It's not so much that his performance itself was awful. It's just the same goddamn performance again, with a slightly different accent. And on top of that, the controversy and all that sort of stuff around this role, he just tipped it over the top for me, basically.
Yeah. I mean, my personal pick was Matt Damon because he's terrible.
Matt Damon.
Started a mongoose and a hippo I get now. But it really is fucking Johnny Depp in that role. It really should just be called a cowboy movie for 30 minutes and then a Johnny Depp stand-up special for the next 20. Yeah. You're just like, are you kidding me?
I mean, admittedly, the best actor in that entire film was the horse.
Yeah. They didn't run away or bite Johnny Depp. I was very impressed with that.
Well, I'm pretty sure he didn't bite Johnny Depp for the reason, I don't want to get a disease or... I don't want to catch his acting bug.
You just despise Johnny Depp, though. We have to temper Randy's hatred.
I fucking hate Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp and Adam Sandler. Can't fucking stand. I don't like Ben Stiller either. But I'm going to put aside my hatred of Ben Stiller for... No, I'm not. I'm going to go on that movie bias fuck into, what's it called? Walter Mitty.
I honestly think you'll be very surprised with it because it's not...
I hope so. I hope to actually watch a movie with one of these guys in it and just be like, well, I was wrong.
Rinku Kukichi, by the way, we nominated her for 2 movies because she was terrible in both of them. I saw Pacific Rim and I hadn't seen interviews or anything with her, so I thought... Maybe her English was just kind of put on for that role, and you saw her in 47 and you're like, no, she just sounds like that all the time.
Why didn't the director just go like, hey, remember what you did in Pacific Rim? Just do that again.
Just do it again.
I didn't really have a problem with her in Pacific Rim, but as the guy said, last week in 47 Ronin...
whenever she opens her mouth in Pacific Rim, she slows the scene down.
She was meant to be intimidating and mysterious and all the rest of it, and instead you're just looking at like, the fuck?
Are you kidding? What is this?
Yeah, are you coming on to me?
Are you scary?
There's a knife there, but what do you want?
Why are you dancing so much?
Yeah,
what is this? You the bad guy?
Maybe that's the writing, but yeah, she never seemed threatening in it, even though she can turn into a giant fucking dragon.
She's fucking dancing around, hovering off the ceiling, fucking magic shit all the time. You're just like, I don't buy this. You're trying really hard, I feel, but it's just not working at all.
It's not happening. And we included Schwarzenegger in this as well because for Escape Plan. Because I mean, look, I'll admit this is not. He was miscast to all hell. This was just a case of. I mean, I brought this up when we did the review. It's like. You've got Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone.
It's going to bring money.
2 of the biggest action stars of the 80s, and you try and make an intelligent thriller escape movie.
Yeah, they tried to make these guys into super geniuses.
I think if you try and put anything with Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone, or let's say let's throw in who's the other?
Seagal.
Huh?
Steven Seagal.
Steven
By the way,
Seagal.
he's running for mayor of Arizona or governor of Arizona.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, you could be coming to Arizona just the right time. You
Yeah,
get your own 80s action star governor.
I need to get rid of that. But these guys can't fit in any intelligent movie.
I mean, Stallone can just about pull it off, but he was everything in this film.
Yeah, I mean,
fucking everything. Schwarzenegger in this was just goofy as all hell.
Didn't give a fuck about anything. He's just sitting there like, oh, when is our escape going to be? Like, I don't think you have the right tone for this scene. Oh, he's so excited. He's just thinking about how much he's going to get paid.
Yeah.
Oh, there was an honorable mention that wasn't on our nominees, but that's for Anthony Hopkins in Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah.
Because he also doesn't give a fuck about
he
being
phoned
in
that
that.
fucker in, but there are a couple of there's maybe one, maybe two scenes where I really like the scene at the end. I mean, it's technically it's Loki, but it's still Anthony Hopkins giving the performance. Right at the end, where he's saying to Thor, I can't condone what you've done, but I'm proud of you.
The thing
that
is,
speech was awesome.
we actually had a fight down to Johnny Depp versus Anthony Hopkins. But we ended up.
We got rid of Anthony Hopkins earlier.
Yeah, well, that's how the fight ended up with we just removing Anthony Hopkins from the whole list because we had a fight of what's worse, overacting or underacting. Because Anthony Hopkins undersold everything in that movie.
Yeah. He just didn't give a fuck. Scene where
or Johnny Depp who overacted everything
to his family, and he's just like, "Call the gods, let's get revenge.
We're going to war."
Just like something big just happened in your life. Do you want to emote a little bit? He's just like, I want to get paid.
I think overacting is more than underacting.
Yeah.
So we kind of bumped Anthony Hopkins off to an honorable mention.
See, that's the thing. That's why we could have said something like, what's his name from 47 Ronin.
Keanu Reeves or the
Keanu Reeves. But the thing is, with Keanu Reeves, it was the same performance he's always given.
Yeah,
but not in a Johnny Depp way. It's his single monotone,
understated type of acting.
Understated acting that he always does in every film. It's the same goddamn character. But with him, he generally does suit the film. With Johnny Depp, he's shoehorned. He's playing the same character, but he's going, look at me, look at me, look at me, and
the movie's not about me, but look at me.
And he gets more screen time because of it.
Yep. All right, guys, you guys ready to move into our big four?
Yes.
Let's. Do you guys want to start off with best? Let's leave best and worst movie to the end, the complete end. So let's go with our best moment in a movie.
Yeah, this is the one scene that you came out of the film, and it is still with you. It's stuck with you.
This is personal. This is something we all didn't vote on, so there's no winner to it. We're all gonna basically say what our best moments are.
We've actually got four though, because as I mentioned earlier, we were listening to Score earlier on, and it triggered
for me.
It triggered a couple of scenes in there as well that basically added to this list. So although there's only three of us, we've basically agreed on a list of four.
Yeah.
Coach, do you want to list out which ones?
Well, are we gonna do our own, or do you want me to just list it out?
We might as well list them out.
List them out and say who they're from. And we can explain why we like those scenes.
Gaz's favorite scene was Niki Lauda in the hospital during Rush.
Yep.
For Randy, he had two. He had the ice fishing story for American Hustle and the payoff that has, and the real evil scene from Kick-Ass 2, which is the scene where they meet. I believe it's the uncle in prison.
Uncle. Yeah,
in prison. Also, Science Oven. I just want to throw that in there. Honorable mention, Science Oven.
Science of it. And my favorite was Walter Mitty, when Walter Mitty is running to get on the helicopter, and in the background, Kristen Wiig is playing Major Tom. I love that moment.
Yeah.
All right, so Gav, why is that your favorite scene of?
Just because of how brutal it is. I mean, it starts off, obviously, he has the accident, gets taken to the hospital, and everyone's like, and then it comes back with, the little indication of his character, where you can see he's managing to just about open his eyes. He sees the priest starting to perform last rites, and they're all in the waiting room waiting, and the nurse comes in, and he says, he's awake. And they're all like, he says, tell the priest to fuck off, I'm not dead yet. And from that point on, you just see this determined man who's putting himself through hell just to get back as fast as physically possible. He's watching his rival on the screen getting all these wins and doing all this glory because he's not there. They do the scene with the lung cleaning, the vacuum in the lungs, and that's brutal enough. And then he pulls it out and he's like, "Do it again." He's like, "Do it again," and he tips back and they shove this thing back down. So it's like, oh, and it's just that determination that just stuck with me.
Yeah, it does not pull any punches.
No.
Chris, yours?
That scene of Walter Mitty, that to me is kind of like the pinpoint moment where he makes the decision to really do more with his life. I mean, he made the initial trip to Greenland, but that's the moment in the film where he has the opportunity to kind of just run away and go back to the way things were and kind of accept things. But, he has that inspirational moment, and the Major Tom song's going on in the background, and him running towards the helicopter. He throws his briefcase on, just hops in, just that look on his face. He's just like, I'm actually doing this. This is absolutely insane. It's just a really great moment. It kind of hits that big theme of the movie that you have to go out there and go out and make a chance and make something happen. It's just a great moment. It's gonna stick with me. It helps a lot that in the trailer too, they show that scene, but they have playing from Jose Gonzalez, the Step Outside song that I talked about last week or the other week. That's a great song for that moment. And
for mine, I'm gonna start off with the real evil scene. That scene is the movie I've wanted to watch.
Yeah, that's the stand up and take notice scene.
Yeah,
in that film.
That guy is evil. You feel it. The music that goes with that scene. Because I completely forgot about that scene, not because it was a bad scene, but because it's been so long since we've seen Kick-Ass 2. But the minute Chris played that music for that, bam, it instantly cued into my head, and now I can't get that fucking scene out of my head.
Yeah,
that guy, you hate him. You loved it. You love him, but you hate him.
He
is vile as shit for what he does.
Through Kick-Ass 1 and 2, we've seen Chris and his dad, they were mob bosses, but they were businessmen. They
they're also they're stupid and silly, and they're cliche characters. But then you get to his uncle. You meet
the uncle, his uncle, the original villain's brother, who's already in prison, and he's running the place down to the guards. And you realize just how evil this family is.
It looks like a different movie from the tone of everything that goes on, because everything's so kind of goofy and dark comedy, going on in that movie. But when it goes to that scene, it feels like a mob thriller,
Yeah, because up to this point, you've seen John Leguizamo's character basically getting shit on, and it's okay because there is actual love there. It's just this kid's acting out and all that sort of stuff. And then it gets to that scene, and that's it. Boom.
Yeah,
just to prove a point.
The whole time you're thinking like Leguizamo's going to get a payoff at the end, like he's going to get something good, or
he might be able to convince Chris to finally mend his ways. And,
he's going to proceed. He's going to persist through the movie, and then when you find out he doesn't, when you see that scene, you're just like, well, shit.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of hoping they do make the third one and bring that character more into it, but
I want that character, and I hope they don't dumb him down. If they do have him in the third or something like that, because I want him like that.
I'd love to see a proper R-rated Kick-Ass movie. A ball. Well, supposedly this is what the sequel was supposed to be called, a proper balls to the wall, brutal movie with that sort of villain.
We'll see.
A real life movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And my second one was it's the fishing story from or the ice fishing story from American Hustle.
Because of course there's American Hustle in
No,
this.
because that is probably the best you gotta see that movie.
He's like, to be fair, fuckers, just points to me. He's like, Walter Mitty, and then points to Gavin. He's like, Rush. And I'm just like, all right, fair enough.
That scene is there's 4 scenes for the payoff of that fucking joke.
Yeah.
And you're thinking come on, just get to the point. But you're not, because the pacing of it is amazing, and the final payoff. Because who's the detective or the head of the FBI? Louis C.K. for that division plays that story amazing. What he does with that is just insane. I love that story. I busted out laughing at the end of once he finally got to the actual end of the joke, and then Also, side note for the science oven, I fucking love the science oven. To this day, I call my microwave the science oven. I am going to be calling it that for a long time.
To this day, it's been, what, 3 weeks?
Yeah, but how long can you keep a joke going? For 2 words from a fucking movie. How long can you keep... Are we still quoting Anchorman 2? No.
No.
But we're still quoting fucking Science Oven, so fuck you.
Anchorman 1. we
And Rush.
Yeah.
It's got to the point with Anchorman 1, we don't even know we're quoting it anymore.
No, honestly, I can't think of a quote from Anchorman 2 right now.
Butter! That's the only one I could think of, just because it's one word.
All right, our best WT collective. We did all together come together with this one. So, Chris, our nominees are.
For what the fuck? It's just a moment in films that makes you go, "What the fuck?" Very simple.
Literally, like it just catches you out. It's like.
Our nominees were The Incest Romance from Mortal Instruments: City of Bones. The end of credit scene in Anchorman 2, where if you stay till the very end, there's an after credit scene, kind of like a Marvel movie, except it sucks, and you say, why the fuck did I stay to the end of that? The way Hobbit Desolation of Smaug ends, with its cutoff, with about 20 minutes left of movie to go. Ron Perlman in Pacific Rim period. And Superman killing Zod in Man of Steel. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Yeah, you always gotta say that part after you've already spoiled.
If you haven't heard yet, Superman's kind of a dick in Man of Steel.
Shall we go through these and explain these before we give the winner? Because I think there's a couple of these that needs explaining.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Sure. All right.
So the Incest Romance of Mortal Instruments: City of Bones.
Well, for me, it was more the themes in general in that film, and there's a couple of points where they basically promote self-body mutilation. But the what the fuck part is right at the end, where the whole thing's been resolved. They're packing up and starting to get on with their lives, and the lead, who we're now established our brother and sister, basically the theme we're getting is the case of this dude. He's now trying to figure out if it's still okay to fuck his sister.
Yeah,
and he's really debating on it. Like they're really like back and forth. On whether or not they should or not. They're like, oh, God, it doesn't feel
Chris,
right.
you saw this movie recently-ish.
Yes, I saw it.
Did they decide to bone each other still?
They don't decide to bone each other, but they decide definitely to still, like, not remain a couple, but to keep open to the idea. They're definitely not.
Okay, so maybe in the sequel we'll find out if they still bone each other.
Yeah, the debate to it is it's not really a debate. It's more of a. Well, I think
it doesn't feel like feel like we're brother and sister though.
Yeah,
I guess we'll just.
It's okay, isn't it? It's really.
We'll just see how things go. As rides off on a motorcycle together, like.
Yeah, it's really weird. Literally, that was my what for moment. I was just the end trailer started running. I'm like, is he trying to figure out if incest is okay?
Is he trying to figure out if it's alright if he fucks his sister?
And we're gonna find out in the sequel.
And it's not the point that they've already kissed and had romantic moments. It's that he wants to know if it's okay to carry on.
Yeah.
Now they know. This is like Star Wars. Okay, Luke finds out finally finds out Leia's his sister after
spoilers.
Yeah. Look, I watched it again the other day, and the first one there's a scene with Han and Luke where they're talking about Leia. This chick's just got on the ship, and he's like, and Luke's like, no, she wouldn't like you at all. And he's like, are you sure? No, she wouldn't like you. Go away. And it's like you can tell Luke basically is the kid who's just got into out into the big wide world, and he's seen this pretty girl all his rest. Imagine that bit where Luke's like, okay, Leia's my sister. She's still kind of hot.
I'd still tap her.
Yeah, I'll get rid of Han. I'll talk to her.
That's
the level this is on.
Bikini at one point.
It's the same storyline basically. They start to kind of get romantic a little bit, and then there's a relationship between an actual family relationship between them. Except Star Wars abandons that and it's like, okay, she's my sister. City of Bones goes, it could be okay.
Yeah, she's my sister.
We can write some more on this.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, Chris has already gone into the Anchorman bit. It's like
you stay through the credits, which is like 5 minutes long, for a fucking scene of Brick eating a cookie and staring at the camera.
Yeah,
why even have it?
It's basically a continuation of a scene earlier in the film, and he basically they all get up and leave, and that's where the scene ends. Except Brick goes back under the table, finds a cookie on the floor, eats it while staring into the camera, waves at the camera, and it's done. And you're like,
what the fuck was the point?
How
Cut it.
I still don't know how you even knew there was a thing at the end of the trailers.
Gav told me.
Oh yeah, Gav
Yeah,
said.
I got told, and it's not just like an after credit scene and then the real credits start. This is right at the end of the fucking film.
Yeah, it's not like Will Ferrell, Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, Anchorman 2, there's the cred scene and the real credits. Watch that. It's everything. You go through fucking catering and grip handles and everything.
Yeah. You see all those film unions of America signs, all that bullshit at the bottom. Then there's the scene.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't save for the end of that. Because the minute the not trailers, but the credits hit, I left. I'm like, fuck this, I'm leaving.
Yeah. With Hobbit again, we've already kind of led into this. It feels like literally. I mean, I remember the scene now where they do the bit with the gold and try and drown Smaug in gold, and he flies off. They're all going, "Yeah, revenge!" He bursts out of the gold and he's like, "Revenge! I'll show you revenge!" And he flies off, and they're all like, "Oh my god, what's he doing?" He's heading towards Lake Town.
Yeah,
and he's like, "I am fire. I am death." Blank screen.
Well, no, they zoom in on Bilbo's face
Bilbo,
and then blank screen.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, what if we just unleashed?"
Yeah.
Credits. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we're all sat there in the cinema. It's like, wait,
What?
This is where you're gonna end it?
There's 20 minutes left. What?
This isn't a cliffhanger. You're mid-fall.
Dude, Peter Jackson, he puts fucking
Hit the ground and get the parachute.
Peter Jackson puts 5 fucking endings in Lord of the Rings, Return of the King. In this one, doesn't even have a fucking ending. It just ends mid fucking scene.
Yeah, I mean, like when you look at the ending of what's the other trilogy that we just watched, Hunger Games, the second of that still, even though it's the middle of a trilogy, it still had a physical ending to that movie.
Yeah.
Where she won the war, but not the battle, you know? And
she won the battle, not the war, you mean?
What'd I say?
Kinda.
You said the war, not the battle. I was
Well,
I think she won the war. I don't think she cares about the battle too much.
I am blanking. But, yeah, that actually had an ending. As far as, Desolation of Smaug, Harry Potter 2, there is no ending to that movie.
It just stops. It's like, Peter Jackson, this is the fucking Hobbit. This is another Lord of the Rings trilogy film. You do not need trailer bait, sequel bait.
Just give us the last 20 minutes and make this a two movie part.
I mean, from what I understand, there's enough in the book that there is enough for a third movie.
Yeah, but I don't know if there's enough in there that we want to see.
But from what I understand, the part that's in there is radically different from fucking Dragon going towards the goddamn town. Like, we could just finish there and have what's supposed to happen after that in the next movie.
Yeah, the entirety of that end, the set piece with the dwarves in the whatever the place is called, that doesn't happen.
The Lonely Mountain.
Yeah, that entire bit of dwarves versus Smaug, up until the very end of the book, or Smaug's, from what I've heard anyway, from Smaug's, comeuppance right at the end. The dwarves themselves don't actually see Smaug.
Yeah.
In the book. So at this point, it is starting to veer off, and it has been heavily altered for the movies to expand them into 3. But we'll see. But this, it's just like a, the fuck.
What else do we have left?
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, well, he's just
I don't
understand his character and why is he even in this movie.
They kept this guy a fucking secret. I did not know he was going to be in this film when I was watching it, and he just pops up and he's like, I'm like, Perlman, and he's just over the top.
I was like, what's Hellboy doing in here?
Yeah,
he's got fucking gold shoes.
Yeah, over fucking this pimp dude that's running a kaiju parts emporium out of Hong Kong or whatever. And it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, he comes out of nowhere.
He comes and goes quick as shit.
Yeah, and then he has his little what the fuck right at the end as well, where he actually survives being eaten by a kaiju.
Yep.
Just so he can get his shoe back.
Fucking character.
It's not it's not as grand as the ones obviously we've already gone through, but it was one of those. It's like,
And then finally, Superman kills Zod. Spoilers.
Yeah.
It's a moment where you're just like,
he could fly up.
Superman shouldn't do that.
He could have done anything.
That's like making Batman use a gun and saying it's just, we're a grittier version. It's like, no, that's just kind of shit intrinsic to the character. Superman's not going to kill unless there's no other way. And there's like 6 other ways he could have solved that scenario without even thinking too hard.
Yeah. And I think the biggest one is flying up.
Fly up, yeah.
Flying up, you've got the dude in a headlock, you can move his head around, you could put your hand over his eyes, you could do anything you want.
You can knock him out. You can squeeze his neck and just make him pass out. You can do anything. You don't need to fucking crack the dude's neck.
Yeah. It's just bullshit.
It's 100% just bullshit.
And our winner for this is... I am looking for it.
I think you can tell.
The Hobbit 2.
Yes. Because of how much we went into this.
Everyone was just like, yeah.
What the fuck? That was literally the only one that made me sit up in my seat and go, the fuck?
Yeah. I walked out of the movie angry because of that scene.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are going to leave angry because of it.
So, okay, let's actually go into...
We have our worst movie and best movie of the year left.
Do you want? Let's end with worst film. So let's go with our best film. Best movie of the year. Chris, the nominations are...
Our best movies of the year, our nominees are Rush, Don John, American Hustle, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, and Dallas Buyers Club.
And the winner is American Hustle. Fuck all of you. This came down to the wire between Rush and American Hustle, I believe.
Yes. Basically, yeah, because I hadn't seen American Hustle, so I couldn't really say, but I was really pushing for Rush just because I think it's a fantastically put together film.
Yeah.
It tells,
I agree that it's a very good movie, and it really does, put up a contention for this. I just really felt American Hustle for how it was done. Over.
Basically, American Hustle had more boobs in it.
No, it wasn't because of the boobs. It was fucking written fantastic.
I think Rush had more boobs in it, actually.
Well, actually, yeah, it had a fair
I was like, thinking back on it, there are a lot more tits in Rush.
Well, actual physical tits that you can actually see. Because American Hustle was just a lot of Amy Adams in low-cut shirts.
Yeah.
Extremely low-cut shirts. What was that? It was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Not spoilers, Chris may be jerking off.
All these movies are incredible. I think you're not going to be disappointed if you catch any of these. Maybe Walter Mitty for some of the people out there, but outside of that, I think all of these are just top quality films you definitely need to go check out.
Yeah. And let's end it off with the worst movie of the year. Chris.
Our worst movie of the year nominees: The Lone Ranger, Mortal Instruments, City of Bones, Elysium, R.I.P.D., and The Escape Plan.
And our winner is, I should actually say winners, Lone Ranger and City of Bones.
We really couldn't decide on... Well,
no. We fought for, 20 minutes on which one was worse?
Well, because Randy has that deep-seated hate for Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He refused to accept this film could be anything other than hell.
Well, fucking Lone Ranger's terrible. City of Bones is terrible.
Yeah.
The fight was on, what was more, offensively terrible and shit like that.
It really was like a back and forth. It was just like Lone Ranger's much longer. You're like, yeah, it is. They're like, yeah, it's not as offensively bad as the incest shit at the end of Mortal Instruments. Yeah, but there is a lot more Johnny Depp. Yeah. Terrible special effects in Mortal Instruments. Yeah, it's just like a back and forth. Like, that was bad, that was bad, that was bad. Well, that was fucking terrible. So you're just like, fuck it. Both of you girls get to be pretty and shitty. Both of you get bowling trophies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Both of them.
We just couldn't split them.
We couldn't. No. It's the one thing. Like, I could sway things on other stuff, but, I couldn't sway on I fully agree City of Bones is fucking terrible.
The one kicker for me with City of Bones as well is that it's coming back. We're going to have to see another one.
And I actually voted for Elysium. Still my worst movie of the year. So it's like, not only is Lone Ranger and Mortal Instruments got this tie going, I'm just like sitting in my back pocket, I'm like, and fuck Elysium even more than both of those.
Oh dear.
So that's our 2000 and what? That's 13.
2013. What did you think of the movies in 2013? Guys?
Actually, they weren't bad. Actually, I want to before we get into that, I actually like to go through a list of what movies you think are buyable from 2013 from the ones that we've seen. Like movies that you have to go out and that you should go out and buy that are good for repeated views. You can always get something new out of each viewing of these movies.
Let's see. Can I differentiate between a couple of rentals as well?
Yeah, sure. Like this movies you have to see from this year that we've seen.
Well, look, the top ones are our best films, definitely. Rush, Walter Mitty, Don John, and American Hustle.
Correct.
And Dallas Buyers Club as well. Go check out Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, and Into the Furnace. Out of the Furnace.
Yeah. Well, Out of the Furnace, I'd say rent. Do not buy Out of the Furnace, because I don't think you're ever going to want to watch that more than once, because it's a really depressing movie.
Kick-Ass 2, go buy the CD.
Yeah, go buy the soundtrack for Kick-Ass 2. Hunger Games, I definitely say you should pick that up when that comes out. I think that was excellent. Thor, I think check that out because it's a great movie, but the special effects and behind the scenes is probably really good on that.
Yep. Oddly enough, it's out now, but I'm really not interested in picking up Man of Steel. I don't really want to see that again.
I just bought it yesterday or 2 days ago. Not because I want to see it, but because I want to see there's 4 hours of bonus features, guys, and I want to see how the director and writer were like, let's fuck this movie.
Okay, I can see that. I can see getting that.
Yeah, I bought the 3D fucking version of it.
Kingsman, you get the hell out. You've just ruined my night. There are 5 more Mortal Instruments books.
I don't think we're going to get all of them. That seems like a lot for them to make, unless it really takes off with number 2. I would say Prisoners, I think, is another one to go check out. I think that was really good.
Wasn't bad, yeah.
Pacific Rim, I think if you wanna see for behind the scenes stuff to kind of see how it was made, I think that would probably be really good.
If you like dumb blow up action movies, look, I will say get Pacific Rim, get even R.I.P.D. if you like a dumb, stupid, whatever movie.
For R.I.P.D., you have to be kind of this is gonna shit on Gav.
He's like,
you have to be a bit slow. To like R.I.P.
See, I'm happy to sit back and just. Admittedly, there's a few good points in R.I.P.D. I actually liked Kevin Bacon in this film. Weirdly enough, every now and again when he's playing a villain, he's actually fairly good.
Kevin Bacon's fun to watch. I like Kevin Bacon. I loved him in the X-Men movie.
Yeah, I was about to say when
he plays the villain in that movie. He's very good in that movie. But in this movie, he was all right. But it just everything's drawn like what's his name's character, Roy, the guy who plays Roy.
Yeah,
Jeff Bridges, and his accent is just fucking.
It's over the top. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a.
But that's what I mean. It's an over the top, stupid movie. It's like Chris said with Pacific Rim. He got the suspicion with Ringo Kikuchi that everyone was supposed to be acting badly. It's a cheesy film. So just don't expect fucking Oscars out of it. Just sit back and enjoy some shit blowing up.
Wolverine, I think, is a good rental movie. I think you can give that a try.
Except for the ending, yeah. Just stop it after a certain part, like after the when Wolverine goes into Japan and he gets shot up with arrows. After that part, just stop the movie.
Yeah, you got like 20 minutes left in the movie. Just cut it there. Just stop.
Go buy City of Bones and Lone Ranger for people you don't like.
Yeah, Elysium. If you have someone and you're just like, I don't want to piss them off. I want to get them all 3 of these, make them watch them.
Yeah, if like you really like you've got your arm twisted up your back that you have to buy somebody a gift, but you don't want them to enjoy it, get one of those 3.
Oh, definitely.
Two Guns, I think we've all agreed was
Two Guns was fun, movie. Even though we didn't nominate for anything. It was really
it didn't get nominated, but it was one of those. It's a competent film, so
yeah, good rental movie. I think there's any other big ones we really missed out.
World War Z. I want you guys, if you have you got to forget about World War Z being a book.
Yeah.
Just look at it as a zombie
movie.
Call it
zombie movie Brad Pitt, and
it's amazing. Like the ending scene where he's in the hospital or in the lab is amazing.
It's great.
That it's got really good suspense in it. I love the Russian or Israeli chick in that movie.
Yeah.
She's awesome. It's a very fucking good movie. I love like all the little notes in there, like him counting all the time for certain things to happen, and it's really good movie. I love it.
Absolutely. Obviously, the big ones as well is Hobbit. Go get Hobbit. It's a decent film. It's a good film. Just that fucking ending. Maybe if you haven't seen it already and you're just going to pick it up on DVD, I'd probably wait until the third film comes out. Then you can temper that anger and you don't slap your loved ones. You can put the third film in and just watch it all the way through. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Counselor, if you ever like, I want to be confused for 2.5 hours.
What about your? Oh, I think you already said that one.
I will say one that we were going to do and then it got skipped was what was it called? The Ben Affleck film.
Runner.
Runner wasn't terrible. It was okay if you don't mind sitting down and just watching I won't say intelligent, but at least a semi-serious film with an intelligent theme.
I'm probably going to rent Runner because it was originally on the movie list to watch, and
it's not a bad film. It's just it's kind of like Two Guns, just on a lower scale. It's competent. It's just meh. It's just there.
Yeah, there were actually a lot of decent movies this year. I mean, there was a whole fuck ton of crap.
Yeah,
but I think the movie this year actually balanced out better than I think we expected.
I mean, we always saw about half of the year.
Yeah.
I think what we saw, I think it started out rough. I don't think this was a good summer. I think the summer.
The only thing I can think that we missed that was any decent was Iron Man.
Because if Iron Man 3 was on here, I would have gave that one a shitty review.
Really?
I fucking hated it.
I didn't mind it.
And also the stuff I wish we could have seen would be more of like kind of like the like Nebraska or things like that.
Yeah.
We got a chance to check out.
Yeah. See, obviously our list isn't finite. This is just purely based on what we've seen. So if you've got other ideas, there's other films out there. You know, there's some good stuff out there.
I think this year, 2014, I think we are going to amp up what we see to the 10th degree.
I mean, it's pretty evident just from this week alone. We're going to have 3 movies.
Well, you're seeing 3. I'm going to see 2 because I'm going to end up seeing. I think I'm going to end up biting the bullet and going to see Her.
Yeah, it might get down to the point where we have to each go and see one film and basically relay it back because, like I say, until the Easter season starts, none of my films really match up with the other guys.
We'll throw you to the wolves on basically, like one of the ones that we can't get to or one of the ones that's already gone that we couldn't see or something like that. Yeah. And then Chris and I will always see the same movies. Chris will usually see one more movie than I will. Mm-hmm. But those will go into his personal picks, but not his, not the overall. Unless it was amazing, and Chris's review of it makes me want to go see it.
Yeah, I mean it's basically a Dallas Buyers Club was like that, but a couple other ones I saw.
I'll see Dallas Buyers Club just because Chris' recommendation on it. Yeah, it wasn't on my list, but we got 3 movies this week. We got 2 movies this week. We got what two movies the next week. Or 2 or 3 movies the following week.
There's a couple weeks where there's going to be a lot. We're also going to start seeing that's one thing we didn't have this year that we're going to have next year. We're going to try to differentiate best film into best drama and best comedy. So we're going to try to see a bit more comedies this year.
Yeah, I think we'll have one for every category. Like that, we won't have horror because we're never going to do horror unless we're absolutely forced to. Unless there's one that comes out that I think universally people need to see. Like if kind of like if we were doing the review back when the new Nightmare on Elm Street came out, I would have put that on a list of stuff we had to go see. But since it's not, we're not seeing a lot of horror, I would have put Paranormal Activity on, but I don't think you guys would have wanted to go see it.
I'm not really a fan of the horror stuff.
I neither am I, but we kind of have a tradition here to go seeing them to piss off one of our friends. So I would have seen it regardless. But, I think next year we're just going to have a broader vision of movies. We will throw more animated movies in. We will throw more R-rated, we'll definitely put more Oscar, quote, contenders.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to get a lot bigger, broader view of movies this year than you have this year, or last year. And I can't wait for it, Dennis. My wallet's not going to like it, but I can't wait for it.
It should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It absolutely should.
And Gav gets to see a lot of crap because he can't, until the summer hits, he's not able to see the ones
there's a few that match up. I mean, Hercules next week, I think that matches up.
Yeah, you'll be seeing
that's
Hercules.
About it. Yeah.
My big thing is for a movie to make the show, at least 2 of us have to see it. because we need at least another opinion to go up against the person who already saw it. Unless something freak things happen like what happened this week. With the blizzard that's going through Ohio right now. Chris is the only one who actually was able to make it out to go see what was the movie again? I already forgot. The movie that this week. This we just reviewed.
Oh, Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah.
Well, Wolf of Wall Street, yeah. But I'd like to make for a review to make the show. I'd like to at least have two people always see that movie.
Yeah.
And Gav and Chris will be seeing Hercules, and Chris and I will be seeing Her, and Lone Survivor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that's to be an easy one. Have fun seeing that job. Yeah. Chris is fighting me on that job.
I won't fight you if you fucking actually see it.
I'll see it.
That's what you said.
I'll see it.
That's what you say.
I think I can wing my way through that movie. I'm gonna come in and be like, Liam Neeson is amazing in that movie. You need to see it. It's like his best movie ever. What have we seen? Cabin in the Woods? I don't know. I didn't really have a big draw to go see Cabin in the Woods.
I'm just not a horror guy at all. I don't like those
Neither
kind of
am I.
movies. So
Like, I would have saw Carrie.
probably, yeah. Carrie is probably the one of the few I would have seen, and maybe like, yeah, like the only like slasher movie I'd see would be like some of the nostalgic ones. I think the only one I've ever seen in theaters was Freddy vs. Jason. I just don't really care for horror movies. I don't like any
Neither do I.
paranormal activity or shit like that.
To me, they're boring. They're very predictable, and they're dumb. They're all dumb now. It's just like, 14 kids who like to smoke pot and have sex. They're all gonna die, and one of them lives to kill the bad guy. Well, we've seen this to death 15,000 times. Go fuck these movies.
And in this new generation, it's then and then twist. There has to be a twist at the end of everything.
Yeah, they shamalama ding dong up at the end.
I like that shamalama ding dong.
It's old, but okay, you can have it.
I hadn't heard it before.
We need book 2 of Airbender.
No, we don't.
Because that was fucking terrible. All right, guys. Thanks for popping in for our 2-year, or not 2-year. What the fuck am I thinking here? I don't know. My brain is just
annual
dying on me.
award ceremony.
Huh?
Inaugural award ceremony.
Yeah, I can't wait till next year because this is gonna be a pain in the ass to remember everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep a long list of it. So
basically we need to start writing down everything we've seen.
Which reminds me, Gav, I'll do this off stream, but
Okay.
thanks everybody for joining in. We'll see you guys next Sunday with Lone Survivor, the Hercules movie, and Her.
Her. Sorry, yeah. She's better.
It's going to be a lot of movies, guys.
It is. It's going to be a long one.
See you guys next week. Good night, everybody.
I really liked Pacific Rim. I really loved What Are You Gonna Do When You're Not Saving the World from Man of Steel. I think all of these are really good scores.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, with
Kick-Ass
me,
2.
For me, Man of Steel and Man of Steel and Pacific Rim were very. They were good songs, but they were very generic
to me.
Yeah. They didn't feel like you could have switched those two around and you wouldn't have known the difference.
Oh no, I definitely think Pacific Rim's track just works for that. It's kind of got that big kind of industrial feel, like with the big heavy rock solo or guitar riffs in there. That theme to me is never going to be indistinguishable from Pacific Rim. I can't hear that and not be like, oh fucking yeah, giant robots beating up fucking monsters.
There's no giant robots beating up monsters in that movie. It's just talking.
Yeah,
there's a lot of talking.
Fair enough.
So let's individual picks. My individual pick's gonna have to go to Kick-Ass 2 also. Just Chris completely won me over with that in that category.
Yeah, I mean, same for me. Basically, the way we did it is a 2 out of 3 vote. So a lot of us individual picks are basically going to be the winners, and one person might have an alternate idea. But Kick-Ass for me was the winner.
Yeah, Kick-Ass 2 is the one I eventually ended up with too, just because I think it's one of the few things that's actually made it onto my iPod.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. That
if I had an iPod, it'd be on there too.
That soundtrack and at least 3 or 4 songs from that soundtrack are, you can just listen to them at any time you like.
Yeah.
Great tunes.
Great tone-setting music.
All right, let's make it our way over to, let's do cinematography. Cinematography, we also grouped in with best
Physical effects.
Practical and physical effects. So,
yes. Basically, using the world around you as it is.
Yeah. Chris, and our nominations are?
For best cinematography, we have The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, World's End, Rush, World War Z, and The Hobbit: Desolation of Smaug.
Yes.
Now remember, this cinematography, this is not CGI, so we're only counting practical effects when referring to this. So The Hobbit, we'd be considering, the makeup jobs or the costuming, and not Smaug.
The scenery.
The
helicopter shots of New Zealand.
Yeah.
So for this category, we're giving it to Walter Mitty.
Dun-dun! Walter Mitty wins an award! Actually, I think.
I basically voted on this one just because of the trailer. I've yet to see this movie, but I trust Chris's judgment of it, so I'm full for it. I know not Harry Potter.
Fucking Harry Potter is a great movie.
What's that? The Hobbit 2. I know that has some. I've seen it. I know it has great shots of it, but it's just great shots. It's just a helicopter flying over New Zealand.
Admittedly, some people might say the same with Walter Mitty with Greenland and Iceland, but it's little tricks that they do and add little things. There's the scene of the skateboarding down the road in Iceland, where that's shot in such a way you can believe that is actually Ben Stiller doing it. And it does its best not to just focus on him. It shows the world around him as he's moving through it. It's a fantastic shot. Yeah,
very visually stunning of a film. A lot of great effects with
Thor. It was good, but it was very generic sort of CGI. There wasn't anything that really stood out.
Thor won CGI. It would win in CGI if it was just Asgard.
Yes, Asgard stood out. What I didn't like was what was it called? Now I can't remember the name of the ether.
The ether was the only thing that was just it was very evident. You're just like, this is a big computer generated effect. I've never gotten this. Elysium, by the way, is I think the only positive award it's nominated for, and that's because the one good thing I can say about the movie is that the robots were really well animated in it. But my vote went to
District 9.
My vote went to Pacific Rim, but I agreed that World War Z had amazing effects as well. I just really liked Pacific Rim for certain fight scenes.
I liked Pacific Rim, but as I say, I wasn't as impressed with the special effects just because it wasn't really special effects. It was an animated movie.
Yeah.
Who was your vote, Gav?
Well, as I say, because I hadn't seen World War Z, I was leaning towards Pacific Rim, but I didn't really want to give it to Pacific Rim because of that reason that I mentioned.
Mm-hmm. I gave mine to World War Z also.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Best Animated Movie. Chris, our nominees are
Freebirds.
And our winner is Freebirds.
Yes, we didn't go see Frozen or anything else.
Congratulations, Freebirds.
Yes.
Good on ya.
I mean, we probably could have put Pacific Rim for Best Animated Movie too.
Well, kinda, yeah, but they had too many humans in it.
Yeah, it had one too many humans in it for it to categorize as Best Animated Movie. All right, let's get through supporting actors and actors. Supporting actor, Chris. Who do we got?
Best supporting actor, our nominees were Jared Leto from Dallas Buyers Club, Casey Affleck from Out of the Furnace, Tom Hiddleston from Thor: The Dark World, Daniel Bruhl from Rush, and Jim Carrey from Kick-Ass 2.
And our winner was hold on, I just lost my track. Daniel Bruhl.
Yes.
From Rush. Woo! Daniel Bruhl, Niki Lauda. Woo!
Not Tom Hiddleston, as everyone is expected would go to by default.
This is not a show run by fangirls, so Tom Hiddleston is not going to win every single award.
I would have voted for Tom Hiddleston. He's so dreamy.
I'll admit, look, I like Hiddleston. I like what he does. And Loki is a fantastic character.
Oh yeah, he is.
It's just that in this situation, in this instance, Daniel Bruhl is not bringing his own spin to a character. He's playing a real person, and he captures him perfectly.
It's just absolutely phenomenal. It is incredible the way he just captures that entire kind of caricature of Niki Lauda and just plays it to absolute perfection. Just hitting every single one of his personality quirks so well.
It's the peak of arrogance. You want to hate the guy because he's such a cocky little shit. But the problem is everything he's saying is right.
keeps fucking succeeding. He's, he can back up all of his goddamn boasts, and he sells it all like. And he's not so smarmy you completely despise him. You could still respect him, but you're still just like, God, I want somebody to beat you. I want somebody to fucking punch you in the nose and stuff you in a locker or something. He is incredible in the movie. Yeah, Jim Carrey we have on there, though, because that is a guy who, if you did not tell me he was in Kick-Ass 2, I would never have known it was him. Yeah. He is completely lost in that character. Is a really great. It's a
shame he had the reaction he did to the film, because it's a fantastic character.
Yeah. It is a shame, but
yeah, I tend to agree with everybody on Daniel Bruhl.
Yeah, I mean, there's that one scene in the film. It's like, what is it when he's talking to his race mate, and his race mate's like, "Why have you got to be such an asshole? Why am I the asshole? Everything I'm saying is correct. I'm better than you. If you can't accept that, you're the asshole."
There's so many great moments from him in that film. There's so many. Just like, I feel the car with my ass. God gifted me with a very good ass. I can tell what the car is. Just
enough, Niki Lauda is more quotable than Anchorman 2.
Yeah. He's great. So, yeah, I think all of us... I think, no, you might pick someone else.
Who?
Rand. Did you pick someone else?
I don't remember. My list does not have it on there.
Okay. Well,
so I guess I just defaulted and agreed with you guys.
I'm gonna assume that we all said Bruhl.
Yeah.
So good job, Daniel Bruhl. Woo!
And now we have Best Supporting Actress. Chris,
our nominees for Best Supporting Actress was Amy Adams from Man of Steel, Jennifer Lawrence from American Hustle, Julianne Moore from Don John, Jamie Alexander from Thor: The Dark World, and Kristen Wiig from The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
And our winner was Kristen Wiig.
Woo! Walter Mitty wins another award. It's starting to sweep.
Quick, somebody mentions Ben Stiller telling me he's won 2 awards.
He's like, what did I win? A podcast? What the fuck's a podcast?
And why the fuck is it a bowling trophy?
That's all we can afford. Kristen Wiig got it for me because she plays a character who I felt was so tied to that. Like, if it had been anyone else but her, I don't think the character would have worked as well as it does. She's so excellent in the film for the role she's put into, and it's entirely because of her ability to carry those lines with that same kind of like funny, charming attitude that makes her so approachable and welcoming, but doesn't hit cheesy, doesn't hit forced, doesn't hit anything that just takes you out of it and makes you feel like you're hearing a script.
These two fuckers overrode me on my pick.
This is one thing that Kristen Wiig did well. This film did well. It understated its characters perfectly. Where, look, she's not the hottest girl in the world, but she is who Walter's fixated on. You know, she's not the office stunner like a lot of cliched movies would go for. She's not the one that everyone in the office wants. She does have a life. She's a normal person. She's like you say, she's got that quiet charm. She's a mom. Yeah, she's all this sort of stuff. And like Chris says, anyone else in that role, your typical Hollywood starlet, would probably have killed that performance.
It probably, I mean, the script isn't lending itself to make her this, memorable character. She has kind of a lot of lines you just, in a lesser actress, would have just felt like, yeah, she's just the female character in this movie. But because of Kristen Wiig's performance, it elevates it to a point where just like, that was one of the most notable things, the camera, to kind of create this big kind of scope to the world and this, really empowering feeling as you go through it. A lot of good action with the way they roll the camera and cross these shots. So it really is.
This is when we find out that the entire scene in the Himalayas and all this was just CGI, and it was.
They weren't in the Himalayas. That was in Detroit.
But there's stuff in Iceland.
They were in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as individual picks, I really didn't have a best cinematography pick because
we included The Hobbit because. It's The Hobbit. That's generally what the Lord of the Rings films all do. Rush got in there because just of how intricate and how clever the put together of the race scenes was. And I personally pushed for World's End because of how good the physical effects in there were, even just for some of the fight scenes. Although it's not exactly a cinematography.
Yeah.
It's not for the cinema. It's for the practical effects, the makeup, the androids and all that sort of stuff. But yeah.
Chris?
I gave it to Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I really thought it was a visually great movie. This is Ben Stiller's first time as director, and I think he did a great job on that.
Yeah.
So let's bump into actually best CGI.
CGI.
Our nominations for best CGI were Pacific Rim, Man of Steel, Elysium, Thor: The Dark World, and World War Z.
And our winner was World War Z.
Yeah.
I gave this. I'm giving this one to World War Z. I know Pacific Rim is a very CGI heavy film, but for me, as far as like what worked better for me, was World War Z CGI.
Yeah, it's like I brought this up when we were discussing the picks. Pacific Rim is filled with CGI, but it's very much humans in one scene, CGI in another scene. There's very little CGI around the humans. It's basically like, here's a normal movie, and now we're doing the monster bits. Here's an animated movie. You know, it's two very separate things, and there's not much integration. Now, I haven't seen World War Z, but I'm told that they do that really well by these two guys. So
yeah. I'm
letting them go with that. Obviously, they outvoted me 2-1 anyway. But Man of Steel and Thor.
Man of Steel had a lot of what we like to coin rubber moments.
Yes.
Where somebody just looks like when the big fight scenes happen.
Yeah.
And you see Superman go flopping around the ground. He just looks like a toy, like a rubber floppy toy.
There's scenes where like the intricate stuff where he's using his eye, the eye lasers. The effects for that look awesome.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
But it's let down by the rubber man banding and a few other little bits and bobs that just don't look right.
The hardest thing for CGI is faces, and they failed at that in Superman for me.
Yeah.
I still like it just for the ending of the all the buildings getting destroyed. It's probably the only highlight of the film, despite the fact it's not a very Superman-like scene.
Yeah.
And it's still a pretty cool moment visually of just these buildings getting fucking pummeled and shit.
And again, Elysium I haven't seen. And
Go.
Chicano.
Huzzah. Welcome everybody to the first annual awards show for Expo Dump. I think this is going to be a rather a good look at the movies we've seen already.
and I had a chance to spit more bile at the ones we didn't like.
Alright. Do we want to start with the best actors and actresses and shit like that, or do we want to go? Do we want to do best CGI animated movie?
Yeah, save the big three for last. We'll do it the Oscar way.
All right, let's actually start off with first. Let's start off with best score.
All
We're
right,
going for the music.
right off the fucking bat.
Yep.
Our nominees for best score. This is one I actually posted on Twitter yesterday because I wanted to get some opinions on it. I had some interesting answers. But for best score, our nominees are Kick-Ass 2, done by Henry Jackman and Matthew Margeson; Man of Steel by Hans Zimmer; Pacific Rim by, excuse me if I fuck this up, but Raymond Djawadi; Rush by Hans Zimmer; and Out of the Furnace by Dickon Hitchcliffe and Effie Vedder.
Yep. And our winner is
That's
Kick-Ass
the
2.
drum. Yay! Kick-Ass 2 wins an award!
Never thought we'd say that at the start of the year.
Yeah. Honestly, Chris won me over with this one. I completely forgot about the Kick-Ass 2 the scores from it. Yeah. And once Chris linked me the music from it, it immediately hit me, and I knew each score and what part of the movie it came from. I didn't like that movie, but it instantly reminded me of the good scenes in the movie.
Even to the point where we played one of them and it instantly changed your choices for a couple of the other awards later on.
Yeah, it actually brought because honestly, Kick-Ass 2 was low on my awards thing, but it reminded me of a scene from that movie that a score was attached to that opened my eyes for that hey, this could be this is possible for other awards then.
Yes,
because I love that scene.
You might notice that a lot of our scores are the big orchestral, the big hero sort of theme, sort of choices. But Kick-Ass, amongst them, the films aren't great, but the scores in both films are excellent.
I liked both Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass.
Even the main theme that we picked out, which was spoilers, Nick called "Hit Girls Goodbye."
Nick Hit Girls Farewell.
He goes farewell. Sorry, yeah. It's got the quiet, emotional bits at the start, and then just builds and builds and builds until at the end you can't help but be like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, and it comes in. If you've seen the scene in the movie, it hits such a right point when it gets all big and heroic like that. It's a great piece. It uses the jetpack. I think "Flying Home" is the title from the first Kick-Ass.
Yeah, Marius Vries originally wrote that, and they've readapted it for the second.
Mm-hmm. And it gets kind of re-implemented in a couple pieces. We also took a look at the Real Evil song.
That's the one that did it for me.
Yeah, and Justice Forever, which is another great piece from when the movie's kind of hitting its high point. It's a really good score. It's the one category I had a lot of trouble kind of picking through.